Hello, it's Ben. Just before we get started, I'm ducking in to let you know that we had some issues with the audio recording this episode. We had a little bit of bleed across the two microphones, which means that in mixing it, we had to strike a balance between me sounding like I'm down a well all the time and Tom ducking in and out and going silent all the time. So what you've got is occasionally Tom ducks out and occasionally I sound like I'm down the well, but it doesn't interfere with it too much. And I hope you don't send me lots and lots of comments online explaining that the sound's no good. All right, enjoy. That's it.
Oh my God.
To be honest, that's actually much more straightforward being set up than I think it ever has been in the past.
Yeah, super easy. But why is it easy, Ben?
You'll find out in a minute.
Interesting things said by uninteresting people. You're hosted by Ben and Tom. Interesting things said by uninteresting people.
Oh man, okay, I need to get the energy. Hello. Hello. No, I'll find it. Hello, and welcome back to Interesting Things Said by Uninteresting People, where we talk about interesting things so that you don't have to. My name is Ben, and I'm always joined by the far more in-person half of the podcast, Tom.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm here.
Yay!
Just knocked your mic.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just way too
here.
excited.
But yeah, this is the first in-person podcast in a year.
More than a year?
More
yeah,
than a
it
year.
must be. It must be. It's weird. I think that's why the intro was thrown out, is because I just got the nerves. I got the in-person nerves.
Make sure I look good for Tom. Put on the makeup.
You know what is weird? And this is a genuine thing, is over Zoom, it's weird because you haven't got the timing right. But in person, you've got all the eye contact. You've got, it's right back to, oh my God, we're having an actual conversation. And the millennial gene kicks in of like, oh man, can we just text this podcast instead?
Maybe, a written podcast. Oh. No, you'll be able to see every intricacy of my face when I'm like not listening. Or
I'm severely uninterested. How are you, mate? What's been going on?
Good, really good. We went to the brand new Barnstable roller derby. Is it? No, it's like, what is it? A roller rink?
I think because
Roller
the
skate
Americans
place.
did the Americans invent it, so they get to claim the pronunciation of Derby.
Yeah,
Is that right? So it's like roller derby. Anyway,
I don't know. It's the new roller rink. I'm gonna call it roller rink in Barnstable. And it was loads and loads of fun. We were there for 2.5 hours, and my Apple Watch says that I burnt 1,200 calories.
Fuck me. Do you
Which
put
is a lot.
in roller skating into the Apple Watch?
Yeah. No, to be fair, I was sweating buckets because I was really going for it.
Yeah.
You know, I'd never like to blow my own trumpet, but I'm actually pretty good at roller skating.
Okay.
So there you have it.
And this is obviously skating, not blading. Like this is full on, fall to the floor. Yeah. Like, okay.
You can do the like crisscross leg thing when you go in corners.
Oh,
man. You can go backwards. Got it all, mate.
Do
the spin.
This is a completely alien world to me because I am appalling at anything that involves standing up and moving along. I was saying to you before, like snowboarding, terrible. Skiing, awful. I tried rollerblading for a while when that was like all the rage.
Yeah.
Coupled with the fact that they don't do rollerblades in Yeti sizes, I think I always kind of struggled with that. But so, mate, this is completely alien to me. So, mate, so is it like a social job or is it like a workout?
No masks. When you're on the rink, there's no masks. I think
really.
Oh yeah, I guess it's because you kind of you actually need to breathe properly.
Sure, yeah.
And as much as masks don't really hinder that, if you're like really huffing and puffing, it will.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was awesome. Mate, I didn't want, like I said, I didn't want to blow my own trumpet, but I've always been quite. If you'd met me, you'd be like, no, he's going to fall over. Skates are not his thing. But like rollerblading, skateboarding, skiing, snowboarding, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just pretty good off the bat. Like, just kind of get it.
Do you know why that is? Do you have an like? What do you think is going on there?
I don't know. I think a lot of it is confidence because I know it's going to be fun. I'm happy to give it a go. Whereas a lot of people would be like, "No, I'm going to fall over."
Sure,
and then they just like hold on to the edge the whole time round. And it's the same if you ever go like ice skating with college or school or like with family, parents, whatever.
No, I mean ice skating. This again for me falls into the category of I am not very good at it. Or at least I don't know. Maybe I should just commit and try like a few times in a week. But ice skating, same bucket for me. No.
Yeah, me and Matt used to go with Dad down to Plymouth because they have an ice skating rink. Like maybe like 3 times a year. Not often, but often enough I think to understand and ice is a lot more like painful than Well, a similar pain, I guess, to concrete or
I was going to say it's
anything,
like wet concrete. Yeah, right.
But no, I've always just been quite all right at it. So it was fun, and everyone was really surprised, which was funny too. Like, oh wait, you can actually do it. It's like, oh yeah.
So I mean, how did you feel about it from a being out in the world, kind of, you know, I don't want to say post-COVID, but you know, as we are opening up. Yeah, I mean, was that a thing that you were thinking about, or was it just kind of?
Not really. I guess the only thing I did think was weird was like you could take your mask off when you're on the rink, which, you know, in a way, I guess if you're huffing and puffing and sweating on a rink and people around you, you'd think that would be a way to really mix up the COVID. But they do check you when you go in. They've got like the gun and the thing. But I don't know how accurate that is for COVID. I'm surprised they don't make you do a lateral flow or something.
Yeah, sure. I mean, to be honest, for work, for day job work, going into care homes, they will temperature check you at a lot of care homes. And you know what, mate? I've been given temperatures that would have me pronounced dead because I mean, a lot of them are useless. Those little zapper kind of on the forehead guns.
What do they even do?
So if we've been out in the cold, I'll come in sort of 34, 33 degrees, and they go, "Oh yeah, you haven't got a temperature," and you go,
"You're clinically dead."
Yeah, but it's like you'd think that I wouldn't be offended if they went, "We're going to need to take that again in a minute. Like, come on in, come up to warm temperature, and we'll see what's up." No, but they don't care, man. They don't care. It's like 32, great.
Come in. I've been doing lots of not lots, but recently lots of lateral flow stuff because we've been going back to Exeter for office work, like 1 day a week, or no, 1 day a month. Sorry, and a lot of those places need you to take a lateral flow before you go in. And they're horrible. I'm sure you've done. Have you done?
I do multiple times a week, mate. Yeah,
I'm still not used to it yet. You know, like the stick down the back of the throat.
Yeah.
Every time, like I can't. And like I always think, that's enough because I can't put it down anymore.
That's enough. That's
puke it up. Yeah, and then you go to shove it up your nose, and it's like, that's what the back of my throat smells like. Oh man, dude, don't even. Don't even get started down that route. I mean, my wife had to have a full-on PCR test because she had a bit of a cough one day. Sure.
Another one of these annoying. I think I might have said to you that this happened to her before. It's happened to her a couple of times because she's working in a school. You know, go back to work, got a bit of a tickle in the throat. You need to go home. You know, and you need to get a test done, and you need to stay at home until you. So she, so she went to have the test done, and it was not a good experience. Put it that way.
She was COVID free.
She was COVID free. She was completely COVID free. Yeah.
The lateral flows are quite cool. Like they work surprisingly quickly. I know you've got to wait 30 minutes, but it does show up pretty much straight away.
Yeah.
To see.
I mean,
that is the right one, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, for how much we're really not selling the experience. I mean. You can do those tests just shoving it up your nose, I mean, it's better down the throat. Sure. But what I'm getting around here is, mate, because they're trying to encourage just regular people to have it done all the time.
I got a letter through. It just said, "Do you want to do it?"
I think it's a really good idea, man. I mean, like, not that we have the biggest reach in the world with the podcast, but if anyone wants to do their bit and they want to just shove a sword up their nose, even just up your nose a couple of times a week to make sure you're free. Then yeah, man, I can recommend it.
It's quite a nice thing as well to have for a little medical thing to say you're COVID free. Because then you don't. It's nice because you don't feel bad about doing anything. It's like, well, if I'm going over here, I haven't got it.
Exactly, man.
Only
exactly.
Spread it, whatever.
Yeah.
But mate, Caddy told me that the hospital in Invincible, Devon, where we live, little place in England, 0 COVIDs in the hospital, and it's been that way for a long time now.
Excellent.
Like a really long time.
That's really good.
Over a month since they've had a patient. Yeah. Which is great.
That's really good too, because it means I'm guessing that people around here are still maybe getting it, but they're not going to hospital.
Yeah,
which is in itself that's really good. Even if a vaccine just helps keep you, manageable. If you catch it.
When they say like, AstraZeneca 76%, it's like it is preventative of getting you of COVID, but it's 100%. Against dying, and 100% against hospitalization. Yeah. So it's going to do that definitely.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
But no, mate, I'm all for it. I think life's good, man. Who knows? Apparently, the June date is questioned at the minute.
Yeah, like this Indian variant.
Yeah. But here's hoping, man. I mean, I won't be booking any holidays yet, but
no, we're going to hold off for holidays for another year and just wait it out.
See, we might take this is we're delving into completely uninteresting even for you, let alone for anyone listening to this. But we might take the trip up to Wolverhampton later in the year.
Oh,
just
cool.
literally, just to go just to go and see see what's up. Take my wife to go and see the places around Wolverhampton. We're thinking about it. There's some nice stuff you can go and do up there.
Your very own staycation.
It will be, mate. It will be. Yeah, you do a bit of UK glamping. Yeah, go around Cannock Chase. Yeah,
awesome, mate. We went to St Ives recently.
Oh yeah, what was that like?
It was fine. Again, it was
for the Cornwall tourist industry.
It was really nice, but it was just rainy, man. It was really rainy, so there's only so much you can do when it's. In fairness, it cleared up both days, like by 1, but the morning's it's really kind of bolting it down.
Yeah.
But that was nice.
Man, you see, there's another podcast I listened to by some Australians, and one of them was on Twitter saying, "Oh, I really like the sound of pasties. I should definitely go and check one out." I was like, "Mate, if you come to the UK, I'll show you where the pasty shops are, but
you can't move from
exactly. Yeah, I know. I'll tell you exactly where you need to go.
Yeah,
mate, Cornwall is underrated for how much we live close to it.
It is, and without being a complete 30-year-old, it is really beautiful down there.
Yeah,
it's very hard to be unimpressed. It's like, no, it is nice.
Yeah, sure,
it is really nice.
Mate, we should talk about some stuff that is on the list, for want of a better expression. Yeah, something that we actually thought might be vaguely interesting. I want to hear about what's going on with Bite Review, with your new offshoot of Bite Review and how that's working out.
Well, as in what we've been selling?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if many of you out there may know or not know. I run a small channel. No, but we started selling Bite Review X Kuroku wallpaper packs for phones and for tablets. Basically, I've got a lot of good friends on YouTube that have they've been selling lots of digital assets, whether that's preset packs for Premiere Pro to make your footage look a certain way, or preset packs for photos to make your photos look really nice.
So that's like if someone looks at your channel and goes, your stuff looks great, you can get close to that. Yeah.
That's it. And I'd been thinking about doing something like that for a really long time. I've made a preset pack for Lightroom, which is what a lot of people use, but I don't think it's there yet, so I don't want to sell it yet. And I've started making one for Premiere Pro for footage, so it looks like mine. Because I get a lot of comments like, "Oh, your footage looks really nice. What do you do?" But the tricky truth with that is, it's how you color grade it, but also what you're actually filming. So when people are like, I've got your thing, but it still doesn't look like yours. It's like, well, no, because you're not in my room, and you're not at my desk, and you're not with all my props, and a lot of that is what brings everything together.
Sure.
So I've been a little bit reluctant to sell that, but some people do sell wallpaper packs, inspired by their channel, so all the colors and stuff. And because obviously I've been doing this stuff with Kuroku with Rachel for a while, I said to her, look, I really want to give this a go. It might not lead on to anything, but I've got some friends that have had really good feedback with it, and people seem to love it, always tweeting I've got the new pack and look how cool it looks, and everyone's loving it and stuff. So I asked Rachel to put together a pack. I was like, look, what I want to do is a variation of my logo, effectively, which kind of is. It's just a sun with lines kind of going across it, which looks is if you were to break my logo into its parts, that's kind of what it is. And she designed it in 5 different styles, including a dark mode one, because I was very adamant. I was you must have a black version of it. Yeah, sure, because people love that stuff. And then the rest of all the pastel colorways, which have just been in my channel forever. That is its thing. And they've been like I say, I don't want to blow my trumpet, but selling really well. And cool. The feedback's been really nice of it. People sending me messages of their phones with it on. People sending me pictures of their iPad. Saying, oh, it looks great, man. So happy for you and all this sort of stuff. And they're amazing because it's digital asset. Usually with Kuroku, if we sell a t-shirt, it's okay, we need to get that t-shirt ready, put it in a parcel, package it up, write the little thank you note and letter, take it to the post office and send it. All the stuff around it. We've got a nice stamp and stuff as well, and that's fine. But this stuff, I don't move. If someone sells it, they get it.
It just comes
straight away. So I don't have to move an inch, which is great because me and Rachel have been it's such a new experience for us. It's really nice to have it. I've been trying my best recently to think of ways to get passive income, which is a big deal. A lot of people talking about it.
Dude, absolutely, mate. Yeah.
But it's a first step in getting my head around that sort of thing. But we were laughing because the sales were coming in quite thick and fast.
Yeah, sure.
And then nothing for a little bit, and then overnight we'd sold another 20 or something. It's holy crap! They're really coming in. And I haven't actually pushed them on my channel yet. I've only pushed them on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Some other friends post them on their, things and stuff. But because I'm wrapped up with sponsors, I can't push my stuff in a sponsor video.
Fine.
So
okay. Yeah.
they're in the video. You know, I've used them on the iPad. You can see it, but I can't say, by the way, these are my wallpapers. Go and check them out. All that sort of thing. But the best part about it is, and this is something when I first released them, is like, as you know, I've been really reluctant to ever do a Patreon or a coffee or like tip jar or anything like that. So this is like a really nice way of saying, if you want to support the channel, here's me giving you something to show the support, as opposed to like, here's a couple of quid, you know, don't worry about it.
It's like a badge to wear, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly,
a lot of the time you're not buying a badge because you think that's the best badge I've ever seen. It's because you want to show that you've supported, you know, you know, it adds a little bit of a flair to your look.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It's not, you know.
And it's nice because a lot of people ask like, oh, I love your, you know, one of the reasons we did wallpapers is because I get asked so much in most comments on YouTube or on Twitter or whatever, what wallpaper are you using?
Yeah,
have you got an Untitled wallpaper? You've got an Untitled wallpaper. So it's like, why am I sending other people to someone else?
Yeah.
Why not try and keep everything in-house and say, oh, they're available here on my store. This is my store. You look at all the other bits, but here's also my main thing. Yeah. And the thing is, it's going to be really nice and easy and natural to put. This is why I've never really pushed Kroku much on the channel. Like, it'll be a link in the description, but I've only said once, you can pick this t-shirt up from my store, only once the whole time we've had it. But this is so easy to say, these are my wallpapers, made in collaboration with Kroku, because it is Rachel that makes them, it's not me.
Sure,
I've got an idea of what I want.
Well, this is the thing, man. I mean, dude, with the caveat that, like you say, Rachel designs them, you know, it's very much a two-way thing, but it's, what I was going to say was it's interesting that you're at a point where with your videos, with where you've built the channel to, that aesthetic, you can then take that as like a recognizable style almost, or recognize even down to color choice. You know, it's all on. It's designed by another person, but it's very much on brand for what you've created. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like I say, man, I don't want to at all take away from Rachel's input in it.
You're exactly right. And
but that's a good achievement.
Yeah, like straight off the bat, which was great because she obviously made the original logo and stuff, and so she had just had a complete idea of what to do and that sort of thing. But that's been like really cool. It's been a really positive thing recently. And when I do finally get to push it in my channel, you know, that's the sort of thing that can just kind of build a little bit of income residually. Yeah. And it's nice as well because people have said on Instagram, like, you know, bought these to help support the channel. I hope it goes well, man, that sort of thing. Because, and like somebody said, I got one comment on YouTube that said, like the wallpapers, but feels a bit weird you're selling them, you know, why, you know, they didn't say why, but it feels a bit weird, not something they'd obviously buy. I just left a comment underneath saying, that's fine, you don't have to buy them, they're purely here for people that want them. My videos will always be free. This is just the best way to support me if you want to. There's no hidden anything with it. It's like you're not getting secret access to other stuff. It's like, no, everything's there. If you want it, here it is, which is cool.
I mean, mate, this might lead on to talking about another aspect of this, but there will always be people who don't understand the value of something.
No,
you know, who look at it and go, literally look at it and go, well, I could have made that. Why am I paying for a JPEG? Like with NFT, and not to get sidetracked into NFTs here, but people who when they see an NFT of an image for sale will kind of almost, it's not sarcastic's the wrong word, but will post it in the comments as just a JPEG and go, oh, there you go, everyone, there it is for free. So you're missing you're missing the idea of value here. Because I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but I know you sent me a link to a bit of piracy. Even a meet, was that like day two, day one?
So on Reddit, r/wallpaper requests was 2 of my wallpapers. Someone saying, can you get these for free? Can you post a link to them, sort of thing.
What an asshole. I mean,
you're just going to get people like that.
I mean, because the world is full of different people, man. This might be a kid sat in his bedroom somewhere doing what we would have done with pirating MP3s back in the day.
Well, exactly.
And going, you know, I haven't got £4, £5, you know, to spend on a wallpaper pack. I've got the opportunity to ask to have it for free if someone can. Because you see that I looked into their own user profile, and it's all they ask for.
Oh, really?
Has anyone got this wallpaper for free? Can anyone make this for me for free? Which blows my mind. But it's like, not only do you want to rip someone off and just try and find some, you know, get someone to share something to you on the hook, but not only that, but maybe someone out there will just knock together this a duplicate of it. What I mean,
people do reply and say, yes, here you go. I've seen YouTube friend of mine called Knoopsy had that. He's somewhat, I think might even be the same user asked for one of his wallpapers. And so I was like, yeah, I've made it, here you go. It's like, bloody hell, like...
I mean, what is the... Do you think this person, for example, because that is all they ask for, it's all their comments are like wallpaper requests, can I get this for free? Can someone make this for me? Are they trying to then sell it? Or are they trying to make it like a library somewhere of like they're the key, just giving it like Robin Hood, I've got all these wallpapers and I make them available.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? It's such a weird thing.
I know, and I guess the thing that a lot of people think is like wallpapers should be free because they come on your phone and you can download any image you want. Of course you can, which is why I've like been so specific in saying like it's actually a way to support a channel. Really,
sure.
That's what it is, because I don't make like megabucks from YouTube. Yeah. But if someone can lend me like, throw a couple quid for a couple wallpapers, then that's really solid of them. And YouTube doesn't take their 30% cut. Yeah. And I get a half decent amount after PayPal's had their little hand in, and Apple Pay's had their hand in, and Stripe have had their hand in.
And everyone's got their fingers
in my pies. Yeah. But no, so that's really great. So we're thinking about doing a pack again, a new pack, like maybe a few months down the line. So when I first talked to Rachel about it, I was like, I want to get, rolling with those Japanesey sort of vibes that have always permeated through, is to have like, I always had the idea for a really long time to have like a bike review vending machine, like some sort of vending machine that had my branding on it. Not a real life one.
Down on the key.
Yeah. Just some, some sort of artistic representation of that. And then within the vending machine is all the things I'd review, like iPads, phones, whatever.
Sure.
And some sort of image of that in a wallpaper. So like it's like a little fun thing. But then more and more we talked about that. It's like, well, wallpapers need to be really kind of not minimal, but they need to work on everything. Yeah. So if you've got like really complicated images of like a cool vending machine, for instance, might look great on your Android phone. It doesn't have any icons over it. But the second you have an iPhone with icons over it, it looks bad. So what do you, how do you make that work? So we spoke about that for a long time. But there's other things like that. If you were to count the money compared to the hours we spent on it, it probably wouldn't work out very well. Sure. It might get better. But like you're also paying for that. You're paying for me and Rachel sitting there for like hours on end thinking, we should try this, we should try that, we should try this, we should try that. And then when we first did it, none of the wallpapers worked on Android because they were coming out like really high megapixel images, like 100 megapixel images.
Oh, okay.
And iPhone could bring it down and resize it, but if you try it on an Android phone, it would just crash it.
Oh, wow.
So all these weird sort of little issues and things like that, which took it wasn't a nightmare. It took probably an evening to figure out. But even that, two people's time times all of this.
But this is what bugs me about the whole piracy thing, man. I mean, piracy in general obviously is pretty bad most of the time. Sure. But it just reminds me of music. I mean, I'm not going to get into it now, but like I've been asked in the past, when we had the label, have you got any artists who would want to, have music up for free? For video projects and things like this. Like, have we got any tracks we can just use for free? We'll they'll get lots of, and it is the exposure word, man. And it's just disgusting, because it's like not even saying, we've only got a small, but we'll sling you 10 quid. Would you mind? Because that's considerable. Do you know what I mean? If someone came to you and said, I can literally just give you £1, would you mind giving me the wallpapers for £1? Yeah, that's at least a conversation to have. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It might, you might fall either way on it, but if someone's prepared to pay something, that's a whole world of difference from going, I just want that. Just give that to me. You know?
Yeah.
Oh.
But no.
So much anger on the pod, Tom. So much anger. And that is back in person. It's like the anger's fuel, Yeah.
But to sum them up, they've been selling. Overall feedback's been like 99.9% positive.
Sick, man. Where do people go for them?
Just on Kuroku's website.
Kuroku.
So kurokuklothing.co.uk.
That's right.
And then you can find them there. But I'm sure Ben will link it in the old show notes.
I will. Show notes.
But yeah, mate, even some old friends who I haven't spoken to in a while sent me a picture saying,
can I get this wallpaper for free?
Yeah.
So I was like, Tom, I see you're making a mint off these wallpapers. We've always been friends.
Yeah. But no, some older friends just fired them through and said, I love how they look. So it's like, I didn't even know you were watching.
Yeah,
sure. So that's nice as well. So that was cool.
Oh, that's really kind, man. That's really cool.
So no, it's a nice thing, and it's nice. It felt like the right time to make something.
Yeah,
because like if you've got like a low sub count, you're like, here's my wallpaper pack. It's £5. It's like you haven't even like done much yet. So what?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, man, this might be something you want to talk about on the pod, or we can just breeze straight past it. But I mean, you could even have like a video on this process. You know, I mean, there's stuff in there maybe because you know, not like I say, please, you know, you don't need content ideas from me, mate. We know this. We know this. But I'm just you know, just running around in my head, man. I mean, even
Mate, people do love that stuff. Like recently on Instagram, I did a thumbnail breakdown, which I just filmed. I wasn't even going to do it, and I ended up filming like just on my phone. Here's every step I take to make a thumbnail. I got so many people messaging me like, "Thanks for this. Been wanting to know how to replace the screen for ages." Thanks for this. How would you do that? Or how would you do this? And I was like, that's a lot of people would like to know that sort of thing. It's not the sort of thing I make for my channel, but like it's always how-tos and shocking moments, which seem to do well online. It was. Yeah,
then this happened with I can see you looking terrified in the thumbnail.
Yeah. Big green screen.
Dude, do you have a video of like Pocky did what?
Yeah, Pocky did what? But mate, Pocky has come up for a wallpaper sort of thing. We danced around that for a little bit as well.
That's quite there is a good idea, man.
There is a design. It's
watch this space.
But I think, that will come in the next pack.
Cool, man.
So we did say we're going to make the next one a bit more designy, because the first ones are quite subtle and basic-ish or minimalistic.
Well, mate, that's the benefit of doing for one packs, because you can have a variety within the pack, but then having, you know, building up a catalogue of different styles, and
that's it.
It's evergreen, really, isn't it? You know, people in 10 years might be coming back to the designs you've released now. And thinking, exactly. Oh, that's cool. I'll have that.
Grab some of those.
You never know, mate.
But yeah, mate, the nicest thing about the whole lot is me and Rich will just sit in there, little ping, you sold one, don't have to move. They've already got the product.
Yeah,
don't have to move a muscle. No,
I'm going to take a lap to the post office just for old time's sake.
We got sent nothing.
Yeah.
And goodbye, sir.
Get out. No, take your wallpapers.
So that's been a really cool positive.
Mate, that sounds really good, dude. I'm really stoked for you. It's just, mate, strength to strength on this whole bite review malarkey, mate.
Yes, yeah.
It's almost like you know what you're doing.
Almost. To a
Maybe
point.
One day.
I feel the last 6 months I've known what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Up until then, just whatever. Whatever goes. But yeah, last few months it's all clicking a bit, which is cool.
Hey, cool, man.
Took a while to get there.
Dude, I do not have a YouTube channel to talk about, but I did read something amazing, which I can tell you about if you would like.
Yes.
Please say yes, because otherwise
I got nothing.
Otherwise that's the end of it, mate. No, dude, it's a really. I read a really, really good book. Which I know books are for nerds. Whatever.
Geek.
This was really, really, really ace. It's called All the Pretty Horses. I do not know when it was written. I'm going to guess around the 90s.
Right.
It's written by Cormac McCarthy, who wrote The Road.
Okay.
People might. He wrote.
I remember that from GCSE English, I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
A-level, maybe? I can't remember. It's one of the two.
Also wrote No Country for Old Men.
Okay.
So writes a lot of
That's a great film.
It's
I love
really
that
good,
film,
right?
Yeah.
I'm going to look like an idiot if I'm just unaware of this, but I'm pretty sure All the Pretty Horses hasn't been made into a film, and I don't know why. Right. Because it genuinely is really, really good.
Is it fiction as well?
It is fiction, yes, yeah.
Cool.
So it's set in, I think I pinned it down to like 49, only because of a conversation that I was having with a friend of mine who we couldn't figure out when it was supposed to be set. So I was looking out for it. I think it's set around the end of the 40s. Set in Texas and Mexico. And it's about this young guy who's maybe 16, 17 years old. And just he's like a horse trainer, a rancher. Yeah. And him and his buddy go to Mexico, and the book is divided into 4 parts, and it's like one of these really old school films where it's almost like 4 stories in one.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like you have a very definite like first act. Then they go to jail. Then there's the second act, and then they do this, and there's the third act.
Yeah.
It reads a bit like that. And it is just a beautiful book. It really, really is. Just in terms of how they set the setting, they set the scenery of not exactly the Old West, but very rural, middle of the century kind of America and Mexico. And dude, you really do just feel like you're there. It's tense. So they go and hang out with these horse trainers, horse breeders, and what have you. And he falls in love. but it's forbidden, but that's only a small bit of the story. And then they get arrested and they do go to jail. And there's a whole part of the book where they're trying to survive and what have you in there. And it's been a long time since I've read a book where I'm actually kind of going, oh shit, come on, turn the page to the next page. But it just is really good. I mean, in terms of how it's written as well, if anyone's read anything else by Cormac McCarthy, it's written in, I would guess, the same style, where grammatically it's really bad. Right. So there's no speech marks to be seen. There's loads of like apostrophes. Is that like a stylistic
choice?
Or? I think so. Yeah. I would say so. So
I hope so.
I hope it is. Yeah. But it's also like it's written. Even when it's not someone speaking, it's written like with grammatical errors in it. And it sounds really, really picky, right? But I have a point. So it would say like could of instead of could have.
Right.
So, but even when it's not someone speaking, but it just builds this feeling as you're reading it that it's not written by a book nerd. It's a real kind of like, it keeps it really
like someone's
accessible.
Telling a tale sort of thing.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
Cool.
That, you know what? That is exactly what it makes it feel like. Yes. So it feels like you're sat around telling the story of what happened to this guy. And man, it's just a nice, good book to read. And what it does, it made me feel like I wanted to be 17 in 1949. Like trekking around on horses. Because not that I know the idea of being like a manly man is gradually fading away now. In the right way, I want to say.
Yeah.
But this has just enough of admiration of like, he's not an arsehole, but he knows what he's about.
Sure.
You can kind of look at the character and go, oh, you're handling that situation with strength. You're honourable. You're brave. You're doing the right thing. Especially, and I don't want to spoil it in case anyone out there does read this. Especially the point of the last part, the story of the last part, is all about just morals and honour and the setting right of a wrong, which is completely unnecessary because the story almost kind of wraps up in a way at the end of the third part.
Yeah.
But then there's a fourth part where it's like, I need to do right by this. And mate, when I realised what it was going to be, I'm rambling so much about this, man, but I'm really excited even thinking about it.
How is it not a film?
I don't know. I do not know. Because the stupid thing is, man, it's the first part of a trilogy. I haven't read the other two yet. But it's the first part of a trilogy. The first one completely wraps up. I'm happy. I would be happy just leaving it there.
Sure.
So if you do want to go out and read this, it's not like a commitment to read 3 books. If you don't want to do that, it's not a long book either, and it's a pacey read. Because of the way it's written. Sure. It's a very kind of.
Is it quite a short book, or is it quite long?
A couple hundred pages, 200-300 pages, maybe. So it's not hugely long.
Pretty standard.
Instead of it being a film, I actually had the thought that it would be an ideal 4-part, hour-long Netflix series.
Ooh,
That's what it feels like.
That sort of thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nice. And then, hey, second and third book, I'm sure would work just as well. But
nice.
Man, it makes you kind of look at your life and go, oh man. Like I feel like I'm doing all right, but I would quite like to be a cowhand up, up in Middle America somewhere, And it's dude, it's just vibrant, man. It's vibrant. It paints such a good picture. I know we don't often talk about books too much on the podcast, but this is man. All the Pretty Horses is 100%. If someone is
Ben's Wreck,
it is a 100% solid gold Ben's Wreck.
Solid gold.
I might not to have a spoiler here. I might have another book just to mention later on towards the end, but we might get to that. I don't want to overpower people because it's very different. But All the Pretty Horses. If you just want something to read on the potty, or if you're going to go sit on a beach, locally with social distancing through the summer, this would be
the one to do it.
A way to do it.
Nice.
Especially if you've struggled with fiction, because I know some people prefer to read. When they read, it's because they want to read like a reference book, or they want to read like a how-to or whatever.
Yeah.
If you struggle with fiction, this is very accessible.
Oh, that's cool. Mate, talking of books, I lent Kieran Ready Player 2, the sequel to Ready Player 1.
So do we have extra feedback on it?
He also hated it. Is the best feedback I can give. He was texting me throughout. He's just saying, what on earth?
Tribe?
Yeah, literally. He's like, he brought up that Prince bit, and he's like, what am I reading? I was like, man, it even gets worse than that. So just buckle up. And
do you feel a bit guilty? Does any bit of you feel guilty about making him read it? or even allowing
No,
him
mate,
to
because
read it.
I warned him so many times. I honestly said, I was like, you're welcome to borrow it, but I wouldn't. Like,
Please don't take this off me.
preserve the memory of how good the first book was.
Oh, shame,
and forget
man.
about this one, because it really is poor. You know, the more I think back to it,
Yeah.
I'm going to compare it to the time I had with the first book. It's not even close. It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
even close. Like, if the first book's like, let's say, 9 out of 10, you know, that's like a 4, a 3, maybe a 3.
Man.
But yeah, so sorry, Kieran.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
If you're listening, here's your apology.
Yeah, here's your apology. No, I did warn him. He doesn't get an apology.
You made your bed.
Many warnings. Yeah.
Oh yeah, in there, man. What a shame. Such a shame. But dude, speaking of things that worked out better than reading Ready Player 2, dude, you bought the camera of your dreams.
Of my dreams. That's what it's called on the podcast list. Yeah, I'm probably going to end up making a video about this because I feel like I need to break away from iPad stuff soon.
Sure,
it's getting
yeah.
very similar, same train. But a year ago, I reached out to Fuji and said, "Hey, can I borrow the new X100v, which is a fixed lens compact camera? It's crazy expensive, like 1,300 quid. A lot of money for a camera which doesn't change lens, which doesn't have much use other than being quite compact, but still have the lovely image quality of DSLRs and that sort of thing." Anyway, I borrowed it off him and I absolutely loved it. I loved it to pieces. I remember, I think I said in that review, like, it's rare I get something that really like blows me away. Mm-hmm. That one did. But it's crazy money. I didn't need it. And so I didn't buy it. I sent it back to them, sadly, after like 2.5 weeks. I was just like,
yeah.
They said, you can have some, if you want media discount, we do that if you really like the camera. But it's not loads. It's a good amount, but it's still over $1,000 after the media discount. So it's like, it's
like, come on, I said discount.
Yeah,
not slap in the face.
And the thing is, when you've got, I guess it's like buying a new guitar. When you've got a guitar or a camera that already does that, you don't need another one to do that again. Because
Now, Tom. Hey,
no.
Hey.
They all
We
do
know you're
different
talking
things.
rubbish, man.
Yeah.
We know you're talking rubbish. We know you need another one.
So I put it out of my brain for I guess over a year now. And then I bought one of the new Xboxes. This story does come back around to it, I promise. Bought one of the new Xboxes, the Series S, for 250 quid, which is a fantastic little Xbox. I absolutely love it. But it meant my Xbox, I had an Xbox One X, which is like the Pro version of the original Xbox One. I had that, and I was like, I don't need this anymore. So let's get rid of it. And I was looking on eBay, and I just couldn't be bothered with eBay. So I was like, do you know what? I'll take it CEX, Sex, whatever they call it.
Yeah, sure.
It's the lamest store on planet Earth. I hate it in there. Stinks. Everything about it I hate.
Yeah,
it's like the RGB of a game store. I just can't stand it. Anyway, it turns out I kind of knew this at the time, but I bought my Xbox One X was like a limited edition one. It's called Hyperspace. Had all these nice kind of like ink speckles over it. Cool looking Xbox. But it turns out the trade-in value for that was pretty much what I bought it for. So I bought it for 250 quid, that Xbox. And it traded for 230. And I was like, God, that's really... I'm like losing 15 quid here over that 2 years. So I thought, I'll trade that in. I ended up trading in all my Xbox games because the new one doesn't have a disc drive. And I pretty much paid for all of them anyway, when they're just sitting in a drawer. So I traded all those in and traded that Xbox in. I got like 320 quid for all of it. Mm-hmm. So that's a decent whack. I wonder what CEX have got, because I didn't want anything specifically. I just wanted to get rid of it. Yeah. But I always buy electronics, so CEX voucher is not a bad thing to have. I thought, on the off chance, I'll search for an X100v from Fuji. And lo and behold, they had one.
Amazing.
For a mere £980, which is still a huge amount. It's still a huge amount. So anyway, I ended up taking the plunge, took 330 quid off, so it came down to like 680. And I was just saying to myself, like, it will never, ever be that cheap.
Yeah.
Because even the older models of that camera still go for about 700 quid.
Yeah,
the one that came out in 2017 is about 700 quid. The one that came out in 2015 is about 550 quid. And, these are much older cameras, so they haven't got the nice new things. USB-C and stuff like that on the new ones. So it's all like, tickety-boo, really nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so they had two in stock, a black one or a silver one. And the black one was a bit cheaper. It was like 900 quid. And the silver one was a 980 quid. And CEX, they grade things. So it was like, the one I went for was grade A, which was the silver one. And the black one was grade B. I was like, cool, buy the silver one. Ended up buying it. Came like a couple of days after, opened it up, it's black. And I was like, I was such a mix of excitement and disappointment. I was like, yes, No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no.
So I messaged them saying, like, well, what? And I was going, have you sent me the black one? And they said, no, you have got the right one, but the picture online is just a representation of the camera.
See. Yeah, sure.
And I was like, but there's only two colours. So what? And you had those two colours on the website. So why? I didn't kick up a fuss. I just said it's a shame that you couldn't have used the right picture because I would have bought the £900 one.
Yeah.
And they said, look, you're welcome to return it and get that £900 one. That's fine. We don't have a silver one.
Right.
So I was like, kind of just thought, well.
So hang on. You had the picture for the black one because you've got a black one on your website.
Yeah.
So you had a picture of a black one.
Yeah.
And you put up a picture of a silver one.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. Yeah.
I don't know
just
why.
just make sure we're clear on that. Yeah.
I can't help but feel like I don't know anything about CEX's thing, but I can't help but it auto grabs an image. Do you know what I mean? It must just grab an image from online, so that
like if you go to sell something on eBay, it'll go, oh, you're selling one of these.
Yeah,
and it goes pop, 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 pop.
It must be that, I would imagine, and it does say in the small print because I checked the thing after. If you scroll down to the bottom, it's like images of representation. There might be changes in colours.
Representation,
really, really tiny print.
Right, smart ass.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, you know what? Screw it. It's the same thing. It's just a different colour. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
And I've basically fallen in love with it all over again. It's so nice. It's just a really cool. It's probably the most hipster camera thing you could ever, think of buying. But it's such a cool little thing.
What do the images come out like? I mean, in terms of treatment afterwards. I mean, how are you treating them a lot? Do you need to?
This is the amazing thing about Fuji stuff is because most cameras you shoot in RAW, which gives you a lot more capability to change colours and give you a bit of push and pull. But Fuji stuff, they have film simulations built in because they used to make a lot of old film stock, so Fuji Color and Velvia and all these nice old stocks that old photographers would buy and I only use Fuji or I only use Kodak or whatever. So they built all those recipes in. You can pick from them, and most cameras that do that look like hot crap.
Yeah,
but Fuji one, they've done it really well, and you can take images out of camera and just post them. They look that nice. Okay. And a lot of the photos I have to post on social media, I've barely changed at all. Just brighten them up a bit.
Yeah, sure,
or turn them down a bit, and that's it. Because usually on my Sony, it's half of the art is colour in those. Because Sony RAW files are really flat.
Yeah,
there's not much.
Well, it's just like when you shoot with red cameras as well.
Yeah,
so for people like the cameras they use to shoot things like Marvel movies.
Yeah.
You see the raw footage. Yeah, it looks awful, but it's designed that way to be graded, to be versatile. Yeah.
So that's really nice, and it's the nicest thing about all of that is it doesn't feel like work. When I pick up my Sony camera, it's not a massive camera, but it's interchangeable lenses. Go think about this, think about that, get the right settings, all that sort of stuff. Pick up that Fuji and snap away. Not think about is that a good image or a bad image. It's this is just nice to enjoy that process again,
dude. Not to get philosophical about it, but there is something nice about being at the point with something you do, like work or a hobby or whatever, where you do it enough that you can. I know cameras cost different to paintbrushes, for example, but where you're looking at gear that costs a bit more within the category of what it is, but you'll use it. You'll get the pleasure out of it. And it's if I get that, then I'll enjoy my whatever, work or hobby more.
Exactly. And mate, because I took it with me to St Ives, and it was so nice to not overthink everything. Because when I'm taking that Sony out, I'm immediately work mode. Like, what's the nicest shot? What's going to look the best? And sometimes those photos that you do take that do look the best are great, but they miss that kind of when you take a funny photo on your phone and you can look back at it and laugh and go, that was great.
Yeah.
You get that same thing with that camera because it's so click, 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 move on, and it's still got that nice DSLR quality. Yeah. So it's just awesome. I'm so happy I went for it.
It's fun, dude. It sounds great, man. I mean,
it's a really cool little thing as well.
I'm glad because I was doing, what was I doing? I was going to the loft. I found a load of old photo albums.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking, and I was digitizing a few, like for backups or whatever, just old family baby photos or whatever. And mate, I know you know this, but there's such a difference in old print photos, just in how they look.
Yeah.
It lends such a character to what you're looking at and to the memories, I guess, as well. If there's a filter that just takes a bit of sharpness out of the photo as well, just for poor focusing on old.
Just dulls it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I even get nostalgic now for what is it? Yeah. It was around when digital cameras were first an accessible consumer thing, I suppose, and everyone had before it was on smartphones.
Yeah, everyone had that little compact.
Yeah. all those photos had a really specific way of looking. Am I talking about? Do you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
definitely.
I'm not imagining that, am I?
No.
Where you can look at a photo and go, "That's from 2001."
That's a pre-2005. That photo.
Yeah, it's a really weird like skin tones to it, and it's something about it looking quite flat, but it's not contrast. It's just really weird. I don't know how to put
it's like a mobile phone camera, but a bit on steroids, but also not quite as good. It's like really hard to explain because it's a bigger sensor, so things are going to look nicer, but it's still old tech, so it's kind of a bit janky. But it still looks okay, but it's still crap. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like, the best way I can describe the photos I'm thinking of, it's like someone in the first step ramped the contrast right up, contrast and saturation right up, and then started with that photo and went, all right, now just try and make that look more natural. So it's got that really kind of, it's like it's been pulled in both ways. Like it somehow looks over contrasted and washed out at the same time.
And very little red eye correction. Yeah. A lot of like demon eyes looking around. Yeah. Mate, and most like girls would have like a pink or a blue Vivitar or something like that. I remember those really specifically.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. Mate, if you put in a new profile pic on MSN Messenger,
mate, that's exactly where they're from. It's the mirror selfie from MySpace days.
Yeah,
the compact camera in the mirror. Flash probably going off as well.
Mate,
that is it.
There are a couple of photos in these old photos I was looking through that were old selfies.
Yeah.
And Joe and I, my brother and I, we were reflecting on this, going, you used to have to wait like a week to see your selfie. And there's one particular picture of my dad wearing the most 90s sunglasses you've ever seen. They're a one-piece visor, for one. You can picture that, and they are all the colours of the neon rainbow, in these lenses. And what we reckon happened is my mum went, you look stupid in those sunglasses. My dad went, I bet I don't. I'm taking a photo to make sure of it. Because you can see, it's very definitely a slightly out of focus selfie.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, imagine waiting a week to go, see, I look fine.
Yeah.
They're going
so
on.
I told you.
Because I can tell you, mate, my dad wore those sunglasses a lot. So, he must have felt like he won that discussion.
Yeah. Imagine waiting a week and then going, oh no, they do look stupid.
I've been vindicated.
Yeah. Damn it. But man. So the wrap up of the camera it's really cool.
Good, man.
Really cool.
Dude, I'm
going to gush over one feature because it's super cool. Is very old cameras or whatever, you'd look through the eyepiece and you just see what you see out in front. This X100v, and they've done it in all the range of it. It's like the little selling point of it is it's a digital / OVF hybrid. So you can you put it up to your eye and you can flick a little switch and it will bring up a curtain so you can't see, but then it goes digital. So you see what the lens sees. Yeah. And then you can press it and it flicks down and then it's half and half. So it's like real world image. So it'd be like just me looking at you with a focus box around it with all like the little details at the bottom saying, shutter speed, aperture, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So there's a really cool little, if you prefer that old style, just seeing what you're seeing and firing away, you can do that. Yeah. But if you prefer like, here's what the actual photo will look like, you can have it that way.
That's really...
But it's cool to be able to just switch that up. Like, I'll just shoot without that today and not think about it.
Yeah.
But very cool.
Mate, it sounds like a bit of a love letter to the new camera, man. It sounds really good.
It's really cool. It's like almost to the point, because I've borrowed stuff from Fuji before, like to switch from Sony, like should I switch from Sony because I really like Fuji stuff. Mm-hmm. I've been so close to doing it every time, but I've always resisted because I'd basically have to replace what I have, and that seems so useless.
Sure,
But this is such a different thing, but it still scratches that itch.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
I mean, I know you probably will more gear in the future over the years to come and that, but I guess this will be a camera for a long time. I mean, is there anything there doesn't sound like there's a lot wrong with it to be replaced,
Not at all. Which is why I was debating going for a model down, but when I saw it for the cheap price of 980. I just thought, if I get an older one, I'm going to have to take 2 wires with me. I'm going to have to use the old battery style. They won't use the current memory cards and all that sort of stuff. So it would always feel like, oh, that's the other camera. Whereas this was just like, put it in my kit.
Great, man.
So it's really cool.
Hey, get on.
But that's my little dream camera. That's really cool.
Amazing, mate. Amazing.
Happy I bought it.
This is a bit of a left turn. There is no smooth segue here whatsoever. But I don't know if you've ever seen this, but there's a new-ish, I don't know, I'll qualify that by saying I do not know when this came out, TV series called This Way Up.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
If you've seen it. It's available on Channel 4. You can watch it online.
Yeah.
because we've been getting into some more Channel 4 recently.
Yeah.
Basically, it's stuff that's been advertised on and around Taskmaster, because I don't know if you watch Taskmaster, but the latest series just wrapped up. We love it. That's just a little aside. If you haven't watched Taskmaster before,
I know some people do really enjoy it.
It's good, man. It's good. The good series are great, and the bad series are pretty good.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Or even worse.
We had a Taskmaster themed New Year party. I don't know if we talked about this on the pod at the time. And we're not going to get sidetracked by this. Suffice to say, we made a gold head of my head that looked nightmarish. Someone ended up with vegetable stuff down their trousers. It was a lot of fun, man. It was a good party. It was cool. But This Way Up is a really good TV show. I don't know if you ever watched Catastrophe.
No.
But that was, if people watch that, it's a very similar kind of vibe where it's not jokes. It's more sort of tragicomic, I guess. Where it's quite real worldy. It's more sort of finding the humour in real life rather than it being big joke setups. But it's written by Aisling B. She's an Irish comedian, and it's got Sharon Horgan in it as her sister, who's also been in loads of cool stuff. And it's just really good. So they play sisters. It starts out with Aisling B coming out of rehab from a nervous breakdown. She's in a pretty bad place. Her sister is doing better in life in the traditional sense. She's got her career and what have you to look after. But she's also, the relationship between them is probably one of the highlights of the show. It's one of the things to watch it for, because it's so well written, so natural, like sibling relationship. For sisters specifically, for obvious reasons, but just the way you talk to your siblings. It's very, very naturally written, and so it's kind of, there's a lot of different things going on, but part of the show is about their relationship and how Sharon Horgan's character is trying to look after her sister, to make sure she's all right, because she can't kind of get past the idea that she was in trouble. But then Aisling B plays as part of her character, she's also an English teacher for English as a second language classes. And her relationship with her class and with a little French kid that she is asked to help with his English.
Yeah.
His dad is played by Tobias Menzies, I want to say the guy's name is. He's the guy who played Prince Philip in the last two series.
Okay.
So the of the Crown. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
He just played Prince Philip for the last, a few odd years, yeah. And dude, it's just really good. I mean, again, it fits my bill for, I think I enjoy comedies like that, where it's not necessarily like a joke and then another joke and then another joke.
Yeah, there's some more drama there.
Yeah, dude. And there's some real heartfelt stuff in it. I mean, she is naturally very funny. I mean, if you've seen Aisling B on interviews on quiz shows or things.
I can't picture her, but I bet if I saw her, I'd be like, oh yeah.
Recognize. Well, did you ever see Living With Yourself?
No.
With Paul Rudd about the clones?
No.
Oh man, I thought
we talked about it, but I hadn't seen it.
Oh, okay. She's in that as well. Okay. Yeah. Dude, it's one of these things where she's a very funny person, I think, and obviously writes well too.
Yeah.
And the acting is good. So it's all like a straight flow from what she's written onto the screen. Yeah, man, I just recommend it. I don't think I have much more to say about it, to be honest. I just wanted to throw it in because it's man. If you're looking for something to watch, I think we've been watching a few new. We're watching Frank of Ireland, which is another Channel 4 adverts around Taskmaster job. That's pretty good. Motherland, new series, that's pretty good. But This Way Up, if you get, I think there's 6 episodes in the first series.
Yeah, no, I think that's cool.
Yeah,
man. The obviously I watched Invincible, which we spoke through last time. I don't know if I'd finished it when we spoke last.
No, you were 1 or 2 episodes in last time.
So I finished that, which was fantastic.
Some
of the best. Definitely some of the best animated TV I've seen in a long time. Like, it was really, really cool.
Sure,
enjoyed it start to finish, and the ending was really great as well. Like, I don't think you could have asked for much more with that show. The way it was done, it was really enjoyable. But it's also put me back onto, because I don't watch much anime. I dip in and out of it. If something huge comes up, I'm like, maybe I should give that a watch. I'd probably watch through, like, being modest here, I'd probably watch through like 5 series. It might be less than that. I haven't watched much at all. Despite how, like, a lot of the things around it I like some of the art and some of the colours and styling, like that sort of stuff. But I started watching Demon Slayer, which was this really big deal.
Okay.
Like in that community, my Twitter feed was popping off about it when it came out, and watched loads of video reviews. People were like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And I watched like 6 episodes, and I was like, no, it's not for me. I give up.
Shame. Okay. Yeah.
I watched through Invincible. I was like, I should really give it another go. A lot of animes take a while to like pick up.
Yeah.
So I've started watching that again and put another 6 episodes into it, and it has picked up massively. So it's a lot better now, but it's still not mind blowing. It's like I like it. I can see why people love it, but I try my best to stick with it. But while the main thing people gushed about it is the animation is incredible. It's like next level animation, and it does look stellar. Like it's like holy moly, it looks fantastic. But yeah, that's all I was saying. Snippet.
Man, I maybe I'd do another scouting round, try and find some more animated stuff generally to go, because I think people do write it off. I know this is an old comment. This isn't exactly the freshest take in the world, but people write off animated shows because it's animated,
big time.
But at the end of the day, it's art. It's pictures. It's been made. It's there's value there.
The one where I'd always, like I say, I'm not speaking from any form of anime expert or anything like that, but the one that I would always recommend people give a proper watch to is Avatar: Last Airbender, and the series that comes after it, which is Korra. Legend of Korra. Both are absolutely incredible. Like not even like pretty good. Like, because they're from Nickelodeon, which isn't a studio you'd expect or anything like that. But
because they are American made, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're not.
The love poured into those series is incredible. Like, Callie's watched it for a million times. I've watched it through twice, both times. But they've got huge followings, like huge cult followings, because Netflix picked it up for like they made a film about it, which was dreadful. Not Netflix, so the other a while back.
Yeah, dude, was it who made that?
Not
Shyamalan.
Yeah, it's a big bus.
I want to say Ang Lee, but no, it wasn't.
Useless. But Netflix picked up for a live action series recently, but then the original creators were signed on for it, which was like a really good sign. But they dropped it saying we're not doing it, doesn't meet our standards, sort of thing.
No way.
And Nickelodeon now just started Avatar Studios, so they've brought them back into the fold, and I think it's to make more. But if it's such a huge recommendation to watch because it's like 3 series and then 4 series of Korra. Yeah, Korra's shorter in general, but it starts off like quite kiddie, like your friends are here to help you and you should be good at all times.
Yeah,
and like it starts off those real kind of basic things, but the themes it dives into in the second and third series are really complex. It's like, whoa, this is a kids show, and I've never
looked at it for that reason.
Yeah, because it's I couldn't recommend it enough. It's really, really great. And like I know some of my friends that I wouldn't expect to have watched it, and like, oh my god, it's incredible. It is incredible. Everything surrounding it is just awesome.
I've got
a really good series.
A mate in Spain who is fully into it, hardcore fan. Really raves about it.
There's some like every character has an arc, but there's one really specific arc which is of Zuko, who's this like bad guy, turns classic kind of like bad guy turns good slowly, but the relationship with his sister's so well played out, and everything comes to a head at one point. Yeah, and it just plays out not how to expect it, but in the best way possible. It's so like masterfully done. They have without spoilers, they end up fighting, but there's no music. It's all really sad because it's a really horrible moment for them both. Yeah, sure. And they not for them both. One, the main Zuko guy, he knows it's awful and he hates it, but they're there like really going for it. And it's like it's a proper great, from a cartoon you wouldn't expect that sort of thing to come out. It's like whoa. But yeah, that's a short rec.
Oh, man,
for a long series.
Yeah, sure,
for a long series, but it's great. It's really well done. Yeah.
So
very cool.
I think we're at the end, mate. Yeah. I think I have got a little book recommendation, but I'll leave that. I'll put that back in the tank.
In the back burner.
Hear that? That's it going back in the tank. But dude, I think that is a good place to wrap up, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're keeping well, mate.
Yeah.
Just to reassure everyone, it's good.
It's all good. That was the first podcast in person.
Mate, I'm feeling it. It actually is really, really nice. It really genuinely is, isn't it? It's nice to be back together, kind of able to do it face to face. Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if people want to find you to say hello on the old socials, where should they?
It's at Pirate Review everywhere, but what about Ben?
Just Benji Wanlung on whatever. I don't think I've got any different ones. Yeah. I always say that. Yeah. I never check. Yeah.
Leave a review.
Leave a review, yeah. You can actually leave reviews in app as well.
Do you know what we haven't talked about, I haven't mentioned, is Randy.
Go on.
Hello, Randy.
Hello, Randy. New patron saying to the podcast.
Yeah, and goodbye, Randy.
And goodbye, that's enough. That's enough.
He's had his moment.
All right. I hope you're all doing good, and we'll
See you
see you
again
next
soon.
time. Bye.